join me in the pledge of the flag, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Lynn, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Vanderwater?
Here.
Ms. Wozniak? Here. Mr. Tupper?
Here.
Ms. Dickman?
Here.
Mr. Dudzinski?
Here.
Ms. Saban?
Here.
Mr. Sykes?
Here.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 18th regular town board meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Any comments, questions, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1 under new business is the assessor's report. Terry, you're up.
Good evening. You should have received a copy with attachments of the report on basic star changes. There's a proposed change to the basic star income requirement. If approved, the income limit for the basic star exemption would change from the current $250,000 to $200,000. Property owners above that income limit would be denied the exemption and they would receive the check from the state instead. The check limit remains at the $500,000 limit, which is what the exemption was 2 years ago. Postcards that were green were mailed to 200 plus property owners that the state identified as senior citizen exemption eligible based on adjusted gross income reported to the state. The income requirement for the senior exemption is, however, total gross, not adjusted gross. The office has fielded many questions. We have reviewed lots of income, and we have a few new seniors that have signed up. Reminder postcards that were orange were mailed in early February to seniors that have not renewed their exemption for 2020. In addition, approximately 40 phone calls were made last week in an effort to get them in by the deadline, which was actually yesterday. And we color-coded the postcards so that when we got a call, we knew exactly what we needed to talk about with our senior. The reappraisal review plan for 2020 documentation was sent to ORPS prior to the February 1st deadline. The sale time adjustments for Van Buren for 2020 are residential plus 4%, commercial plus 4%, and vacant plus 7%. Reappraisal work for 2020 will include 8 residential neighborhoods, 64 commercial properties, and all of the vacant land in the town, because over the last 2 years we've had approximately a plus 10% increase in value. In addition, 7 residential neighborhoods will be trended up. Final open permit inspections will be completed the first 2 weeks in March as the weather permits. Preliminary assessment notices will be mailed approximately March 13th, and informal meetings with myself, the assessor, will start March 23rd. Attached to your report is a new flyer provided by the New York State Assessors Association. The town assessor, what you need to know. I hope you enjoy reading it. And also attached to your report is my current continuing education report, so you see that I've met my certification and qualifications for the year. And questions, if you have them.
Any questions for Teresa?
Yeah, I do. When you refer to seniors, what is the cutoff that you're talking? 62, 65?
65.
65 years old?
65, yeah.
Okay.
65 and full.
Okay.
Yep.
You're not there yet.
Not yet, but I just wanted everybody to be aware of it.
Do you know the residential neighborhoods that you're going to be reevaluating and the 7 neighborhoods that'll be trended up yet?
Yes, let me see if memory, I didn't bring my notes, so let's see how good I am with memory. Seneca Knolls has been reappraised. In Village Green, all of the patio homes in Homeowners Association number 5 specifically, and the single families that are in that association, they were reappraised. Those 3 neighborhoods. The original section of Village Green, which is the Woods and Christopher, that was reappraised. The neighborhood, Maple, outside the village, those areas, Stiles, Jones, State Fair Boulevard, our residential trends are roughly everything west of 690 was trended, which means all the rural neighborhoods, the 2 neighborhoods adjacent to the landfill, The hamlets, pretty much everything out in the rural part of town was trended. And I think that's all of it.
And what does trended up mean?
Trended up means based on a review of the sales in each of those neighborhoods. We determined where the level of assessment was, and if they weren't between 95% and 100, which is our 5% tolerance, everybody, all the residential properties in those neighborhoods were trended up based on a review of the neighborhood.
And it's based on the sales for the prior year?
Yes, it's based on sales for this assessment roll. It's based on sales from July 1st of 2018 through July 1st of 19.
I was just wondering if you could clarify the sale time adjustments for Van Buren residential +4, commercial +4, vacant +4.
So basically, every year, the state looks at our sales year to year, okay, to determine what has happened in the past year. So they do an analysis of all the three major property types, residential, commercial, and vacant. Obviously, the town of Van Buren is lumped because we're not big enough to be our own sales area. We are actually lumped with Elbridge, so Elbridge and Van Buren are lumped together for those time adjustments. Lysander stands alone because they're bigger, and we used to be with Lysander, but I didn't like the trends. Elbridge is more similar to Van Buren, and Lysander, because we're smaller than Lysander, Lysander was kind of dragging us along. So years ago, probably 10 years ago, I protested that we shouldn't be in with Lysander, that we should be with someone else, so they put us with Elbridge. So they look at those sales, from year to year to determine what's happened in the market. Are the values going up? Are they flat? Are they going down? The commercial properties basically are a regional thing, and vacant land is Onondaga County as a whole typically. And those analysis done by the state determines what adjustments we make. So if your sale is a year old, they're saying it's, so from a 2018 sale to a 2019 sale, what they're saying is that residential property has appreciated 4% in that year. So that's what those adjustments mean.
So it doesn't necessarily affect the assessment, it's more of a baseline, I guess.
Yes, it's a baseline adjustment it's adjusting for time for older sales. And then we use those adjustments, we adjust our sales, and then we compare our sales to our assessments, determine where our market values are, where our assessments are. And if they're not within 5%, that equation triggers a reevaluation.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa, if properties have sold that have a seller concession on them, especially if it's a considerable amount, because it can be up to 6%, and it frequently is used, that is information available on the MLS, but do you strictly look at what the deed transfer says, which would be at the higher amount?
The deed transfer, because we do not have access to the MLS information. And most of the time, the property has appraised at that level in order for them, so an appraisal and an assessment are pretty much the same thing, only I do it for multiple properties, they do it for one. And if it appraised at that, whether it was seller concessions or whatever, if that appraisal is at or above the assessment, then the assessment is adequate. If it didn't appraise, then we have a different issue.
Right. Well, I see your point.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is approval for energy conservation projects at Town Hall and Park Office of $3,647.24 and $1,428.34 respectively with Lime Energy Services Company and National Grid, and authorize the supervisor to execute these proposals. Also, these are a Type 2 secret determination.
In accordance with Section 617.5, paren C, close paren 1 and 2. Basically, basically changes in kind,
Right.
adjustments in kind, with no significant changes in the approach.
Entertain a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
If you remember, we budgeted for this, and the old figures we used was what we used for the budget. A new company took over this program with National Grid, and they actually came in less money. That was a surprise. So this will be within the budget. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3 is make a secret determination for Village Boulevard Rehabilitation Project against a Type 2.
Yeah, it's a type 2 action for repaving in accordance with 617.5, paren C, close paren, parentheses, 4, close paren. And when it says when it's just a repaving job, it does not, they make a legislative determination or an administrative one at the state level, but that does not impact the environment.
Okay. Entertain a motion to that effect?
Moved.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Can you explain what this is? It's the repaving?
Jason?
Yes, this is some funding we're in line for to repave from Van Buren Road and Village Boulevard up and through the circle and a little bit on both legs of Village Boulevard, north and south. It's about 1,200 lineal feet, I believe, of roadway.
And there's drainage involved, new drainage and everything.
Replacement in kind.
Yes. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4 is set a public hearing for March 17th, 2020 at 7 PM to hear comments on the 2020 Community Development Application and 5-year plan. Entertain a motion to that effect?
Moved.
Second.
Jason's got that together. Hasn't changed a lot from last year because we're setting the bench this year. So that'll be ready for the next meeting.
And you already gave that to us as well.
Yes. So we got a motion and a second.
Yep.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I have a penciled in number 5. It's approval for the codes enforcement officer to attend flood management concept training at the State Preparedness Training Center in Oriskany, New York, March 30th through April 2nd, and allow up to $125 for meals. Lodging will be provided at no cost. Entertain a motion to that effect?
Moved.
Second.
With the river running through town, of course, we do have some floodplain, especially down in Seneca Beach Drive and Morgan Road and that area in particular, and there's a couple other areas. Plus, the state looks to the code officer, any questions on floodplain management. So this will be good in case he can get some codes credits toward his recertification as well. So when it's free, it's a
Free
good
is
thing
good.
for us. So, and lodging's provided, I couldn't believe that, so.
Doesn't say where.
Entertain, I think they have dormitories there. Entertain a motion to that effect?
Moved.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, there's prerequisites listed to qualify.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be waived,
I hope so.
so. Okay,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just,
no, I think they'll be,
okay, because I'm sure he's not a manager.
yeah. Well, he is a manager, he's the manager of our flood management plan.
Well, he
So,
has to be certified. Did we certify him?
This is how you get it. So,
Okay.
if they reject him, then we won't be spending $125 and he won't be going. So, but we gotta get him in. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor committee reports and comments, MF.
The latest draft of the property management law went out on February 18th or 19th. The Land Use Committee reviewed it again tonight. There'll be another draft going out. We've had comments from the attorney as well, so I'll be making those changes and hopefully getting them out within the next couple of weeks. And then we'll probably schedule the next Land Use Committee meeting for a month from the first meeting in April is the tentative date right now. And that's it.
Okay, Wendy.
I just want to remind everyone that there's a Parks Committee meeting on March 6th at 2 o'clock at the park office. Be there.
Okay. She looking at us?
I think so.
Okay.
I will be.
2 PM.
2 PM.
Pat?
I don't have anything this evening.
Okay. Ron?
No.
Darcy? Howard?
Yeah, a report on the breakfast that I attended on the 19th, Saturday morning, for the fire service emergency responders. And the main concern they all had was preservation of their present capacity. They talked about their budgets and the lack of state support. Well, I don't think there is any lack of it. It's just that it's over and done with, and I don't know how much good it did. Somebody finally said, and I recommended this whole attitude to our own fire chief, Tom Perkins, that they ought to coordinate between themselves and not try to duplicate. It's the same old story that we had with fire department consolidation. So with that in mind, I invited Tom to come. I have to set up a safety committee meeting, and he looked forward with great expectations that we could help him out somehow with just means of access to some of the services that they might need, you know, paving the way for them to do their own thing without any control on our part. And that's the way most of the fire chiefs spoke at the meeting.
Right.
They want to be left alone to do their own thing, but they don't want any interference, unintentionally or otherwise.
Well, that's why we did what we did a few years ago.
Exactly. It follows our lead,
So-
if you will. Thanks.
Okay, Doug's not here. I don't have anything. Citizens' comments? Anyone wishing to address the board? Okay. Jason?
Doug will be attending Advocacy Day in Albany tomorrow. Keep our
Okay.
funds coming in.
That's a good thing.
That's Doug's comment, not mine. I have no comments.
Okay. Kevin?
Nothing.
Lynn? Entertain a motion to adjourn to March 17th at 7 PM.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Teresa,
Everybody gonna wear green?
question for you.
I got one